What is going on, guys? This is All Gaming with my review of Strike the Blood episode 24. And this episode, I gotta say, it was pretty good, but I still wanted more. I do wish that we get a second season of Strike the Blood, and you never know, maybe they will, because I feel like at the end of this one, it was definitely a tease there about a second season. So maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't, I don't know, but I just hope that we do. But the episode, it starts off with this, other Yukina. She's there now with Nina and Kano, and we see right away she was actually about to mess up once again because she was gonna call Kano something that she did in her own time, and clearly she can't do that now, so she quickly corrects herself. But we actually learn more about the dragon at the beginning, as it actually can travel through time, it can distort space, and of course we all know that it devours magic. And the purpose of this being is for it to actually devour the dragon veins, and it's a powerful magic that we know that is supporting, the city or the island, I should say. And this magic right here, the dragon veins, it is what keeping this island right now from sinking. And if the dragon right now continues to devour this magic, then obviously the island will sink to the ground, and we'll have millions of deaths on our hands. And so right away we actually go into the next day, and we see now that Sayaka, Kojo, and Yukina, they're all together, and we see that like Sayaka here, she was actually letting in Kojo about the dragon, and we see now that Yukina, she is clearly not in her right mind frame, and we see why, because as we learned in the last episode, she's supposed to return back to the organization, and of course that means her and Kojo won't be together anymore. And so now we see that she's clearly upset, but Kojo here, while she's talking, he's thinking about when he saw that other Yukina and how she got attacked by that dragon, and how like she was killed. Kojo was thinking that if Yukina actually stays with him, then one day that right there could actually end up being her. So maybe her leaving, to him, it could be a good thing. And of course now Sayaka here, she's definitely not liking that, so she actually smacks Kojo, and that right there, kind of brought him back down to earth, and he now realizes that this right here is not Yukina's choice, because she has always stood by his side, and she would never leave by her own choice. So clearly something is going on here, and now he actually runs after her. But while he's running, we actually see that the dragon here, it is now causing trouble, and we see that the army, or like some kind of army fighting along Makoti, they're now attacking this dragon, but they're having like no effects here. And we see Asagi, who's busy at work. We see her now like in her office, or whatever you want to call it, and we see now that the island is definitely in trouble. She actually calls Kojo, and she said that the island, it will actually sink in under 30 hours. So now she was telling Kojo to get off the island, but of course he can't do that while she's still there. So of course, he had to go save her if it gets to that point. But we actually, hear them. Like, we hear them talking, and Asagi here, she is actually about to confess her feelings to Kojo. But sadly, right before she can do that, the phone company, they actually get blown up, which means all phone lines are down now. And it's just so ironic how it happened in that one moment. But now we see Yukina, who was looking on at the tower where the dragon is. She clearly wants to go there. She is dying to go there. But we have this other Yukina now appearing as well. And we see now that, thanks to her, or, getting her to admit what she really wants. I mean, it's always been obvious throughout the entire series that, Yukina loves Kojo and wants to stay with him, like, no matter what. And it's just nice to finally have her admit that. And so now we see the other Yukina, who at first was like activating, some magic portal. And I know while reading the subtitles, she was speaking to somebody called Mogi-chan or Mogi. And I do believe, that right there is the AI program that, that's made by Asagi. So I'm thinking that, is it possible that, the AI program, was the one to send her back here? But I will get into that, a little bit, because I do feel like that I have the names mixed up. Even though they are very similar, I do believe that they are spelled differently. But regardless, like earlier we saw Yukina, or the other Yukina, she was like activating some kind of magic portal. And now we see that when she actually hears the result of her mother, because it's obvious who she is. She now uses her magic, and we see that, it's a great amount. Because not only, was she like summoning something, but we just see this like blue pillar coming from her and shooting into the sky. But now we have Kojo here, who actually went on the offensive and attacked this dragon. And even though it seemed like he was killing it, because it had its tail wrapped around the dragon vein, it was actually absorbing the magic, which means that it was basically, invincible or immortal, as it kept coming back no matter how many times they destroyed it. And so now we see Kojo, even though he was fighting and put him in a decent fight, he was having trouble. So now we saw Sayaka, we saw, who else? Natsuki, we saw all the other characters, they were now appearing, and they all, tried to attack this dragon. But sadly, that right there still wasn't working, because every time they destroyed it, it just came back. And so then we see Walter, he had now appeared, and we see now he was planning on, taking on this dragon, and he actually was going to use his full power. And we see that when he does use that, it forces Kojo back, and he even get out this warning saying that the island might sink. So even though this dragon can sink the island, he also might do it as well. But luckily, Yukina here, she also appeared with a new spear or a new lance, whatever you want to call it. She now appeared with that, and she was able to negate his magic. So even though he is that strong, Yukina here can negate it. And so it seems the reason that that her first spear actually broke, it wasn't because she was too weak or the dragon was too strong. It was actually broke because she was too strong for her own weapon. She had grew way too powerful, recently because of Kojo in all her battles. And her spear cannot control or contain that much magic anymore, so it just broke. But this one had been worked on, for 20 years in advance, and now her daughter brought it to her so that, she can fight with her new power. And we see now that she easily, was able to take out this dragon, and it did look pretty awesome. And not only that, this dragon here, it also weakened Kojo because it actually absorbed the magic from one of his familiars. So he was like taken out for a moment. But once Yukina came there and Kojo actually drunk on her blood, he was quickly back in action. And not only that, we had like this awesome family battle that to me felt like it was too short. I do get that they're all powered up now, but I feel like this dragon that was actually using the power of the island itself, it should have been a lot stronger, because to me, this whole battle scene, it just went by way too quick. But whatever, we see now mother and daughter, they're now, fighting together. And the way that, their lances were actually going together, that right there was awesome. And I do wish that when Kojo, had drunk Yukina's blood, that he would, control a new familiar like always. But it seems that he had to drink blood again so that he can use regular arms. And, that right there is his lightning lion, which, don't get me wrong, it's pretty badass. But I really wish that we could have seen, one more new familiar, since this is, the series finale. But regardless, we have Yukina and her daughter. They now cut the tail off, so that way it couldn't use the magic of the dragon vein anymore. And Kojo here was like finally able to strike it down, so that way it was gone for good. And so now we see after it was over, we have the other Yukina, like her time was up and she had to go back to her own time. But she definitely, gave them a hint about who she really was, because she could not tell them her name, but she actually did call Yukina her mother. And so once she was gone, she had left her clothes behind, and it was obvious that, they heard it, because even Kojo had brought up that he really thought that it could have been mother or daughter because they look so much alike. And not only that, he actually heard her call Yukina mother. So that right there was obvious. But when he picks up her clothes, her panties actually drop, and they of course belong to this Yukina. And it was just hilarious how she got so upset about that. But now we see that when this other Yukina, whose real name is Reina, when she goes back to her own time, she actually meted by this guy called Moge-chan. And we see that when Reina here asks about, Asagi, who she called Doc, Moge-chan actually called her mother. So this means that, Asagi also had the kid in the future as well. But I do wonder, who is the father, because that right there, definitely made me wonder. But now Reina here was saying that, she was glad that she got to see her parents, and she was glad that, she got to spend time with them. But she actually said Kojo was dead, which to me is a definite lie because Mogi here just said that she spoke to Koja earlier that morning. So I mean, why would you say that? You know, it's just a lie. Like maybe they did that to mess with the fans or something. But I don't know. To me, it was like really weird. But then we see, you know, like at one point we went back to our you know, our present time, and we actually saw the AI program that, you know, Asagi made. Now we already knew that it was working with Motoki, but then we see it work with that failed battle mage. Now I forgot his name right now because it had been a while since he put it in the story. And at this point, I mean, I'm guessing he's like relevant again, but I do wonder why is the AI program working with him. That right there kind of struck me as odd, because I feel like, you know, for him to put it at the end like that, it was just way too random and it fell out of story because he had no roles since he took that broken lance. So now that he's here again, I wonder what kind of purpose could he possibly serve. But to go back to Reina, we see now that the island that we all know that they're living on in the present, it has now changed a lot in the future, and she actually called it their Empire of the Dawn, which was this arc name. And I will say that I was surprised that, you know, this arc was only 2 episodes, and that's why I feel like that we might get a season 2, because I feel like there are possible more arcs. So I'm still holding out for a season 2. But overall, this ending, it was definitely decent. Now, I won't say that it blew me away, but I will say that I definitely enjoyed it. I am hoping for a season 2, but I definitely know that it won't happen for a while now, but you never know. We might get it sometime next year. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, but you never know. If they do announce it, then I would definitely, you know, probably make a video for it, because I probably will cover that like I did the first season. But please let me know what you thought about this episode, or overall, what do y'all think about Strike the Blood at the series, like, all together? Because to me, I definitely enjoyed it, so I am glad that I did review this for you guys. But as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe. You guys really have no idea how much it helps me out. But as always, you guys take it easy. I will see you all next time.